Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, folks? JT here with another Chart Talk Live. It is Thursday, October the 23rd. Hope everybody is doing well here pre-market. Let me get over to the chat. What's up, Serge? Good to see you. What's up, Navy Plum? Good to see you as well. Hope you guys are doing excellent. All right, let me get I've got everything set up here. That all looks good. All right, let me get my screen sharing started. Cool, there we go. All right, we just lost Navy Plum. That can't be right. He'll be back. He must be having a technical difficulty. Oh, there he is. What's up, Navy Plum? Good morning. Good to see you. What's up, Revenger? Good to see you as well. All right, let me get this out to the chat real quick. That's not what I wanted to do. This event. There we go. All right, let me get this out. All right, cool. Word is out. Charts are up. Let's dig in. HNST. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. I'm not even familiar with that one, so congrats on finding a, which probably honestly isn't that hard, but to have somebody ask about a name that I haven't really heard about or traded much is probably a sign of something. So we'll take a look at that for sure. What's up, KC? What's up, Ule? Let's see who else has jumped in here. New Trader, Ali the Man, Dr. Lebrat. Good to see you all here. All right, so let's dig in a little bit. What are we seeing here in the markets? We'll also get through some trade plan recaps from the plans we did on Tuesday's live stream, and then we will work on some new ticker requests. And of course, I'll do my best to answer any questions you all have here in the chats while I continue to work on trade plans, etc. All right, a little coffee in the mix here. So what are we seeing here on ES? Kind of just broad volatility, consolidation by the looks of it. Haven't really breached any of the key levels to continue to move lower. We also now have a nice confluence right there at 66.80.75 here at ES. So that's looking like a pretty decent buy the dip level to watch. So keep an eye on it from an ES perspective. To the upside, we obviously stalled and pulled back from this 67.88 level. Ultimately, it looks like we could attempt to retest that. Let's take a look at that real quick. Not probably, more than likely, if we get a good... Yeah, I'd still be watching this 67.56.75. If we can get through that, I think that could open up room up to 67.88, that level that we just rejected. And then obviously over that, doesn't leave a whole lot more room before we go to test all-time highs here. Excuse me, golly, I swallowed all wrong. Test all-time highs here on ES again. If we can break over that 67.56, again, I'd be expecting a test at 67.88 and then on to all-time highs. And then we see if we can break through and print new all-time highs from there. So keep a weather eye on the horizon for signs of which way SPY might decide to go. Again, we're looking for a confirmed break, or SPY, the S&P, might decide to take things if we get a break below 66.80 again to the downside, or a break above 67.56.75 for a breakout to the upside, for a move to test those couple of levels that we just discussed. And of course, use this all to help influence kind of your general market bias, which right now I would say is kind of sideways and consolidation until we break through one of those two levels. But doesn't mean there's not opportunities to play within that range. Looking for potential, short setups as we test 67.56.75. as a possible rejection area and potential long setups if we show signs of bouncing down there at 66.80, so you could play within that range up and down, or of course breakouts to either side like we just discussed. And again, using that to influence your overall market directional bias. Just got that up. We're not going to talk about that. All right, so let's get through our trade plan recaps. These are the plans that we worked on during Tuesday's live stream just a couple of days ago. Bull has kind of just been in this slow, bearish consolidation, continues, I should say, to just grind lower. Hasn't given us an entry really to either side yet, so still waiting for that break below 1025 before bull starts to look like a good short or bearish opportunity, and then again a break over 1208 for things to potentially start to shift back to the bullish side of things and start pushing for some of these upside price targets. Looking at 1336, 1398, and 1505 if we can break over that 1208 level. Beyond, I don't know if anybody's heard of this name. Obviously the hottest name in the markets over the last couple of sessions. We worked on this Tuesday live stream plan on well, just a couple of days ago. We got the breakout, confirmed back test there off of 229, off for several hundreds of percents to the upside as we hit through some of those targets there pre-market with that massive squeeze push there yesterday pre-market. But ultimately we did, if we focus more on just our plan, get the full move that we wanted intraday all the way from 229 up to 328. And then we all know what happened from there. It squeezed hard, then it just went through essentially a series of trading halts all throughout the day yesterday that's really kind of allowed it to pull back into some of these potential buy levels. So keep an eye on it. It's been holding this 280 level. I did share in the chats for those who maybe, hesitated, and that would have been totally understandable, being hesitant, jumping into a name that has truly been on the struggle bus for quite some time now. Those pullbacks that we were looking at, pullback levels was back tests of the call PT3 from Tuesday's plan. There at 360 and then 280. I also liked as a buy level. That's the level that we're trying to push off of here this morning. And again, I'd be keeping a close eye on stopping out, somewhere around 229. Could look to potentially give it a test of where these SMAs are sitting. But again, this absolutely has the potential to totally retrace all these squeeze moves. But I'd be surprised. I think there's a lot of interest buying happening in this range. And of course, I'm not surprised at all by a strong amount of profit taking, considering how quickly the share price moved 100% plus overnight going into that pre-market session. So be patient on Beyond and just continue to watch these levels and be ready to act if and when you see an opportunity that you like that I may have given you some insights on. So that's the story of Beyond currently. Again, ultimately looks like it could continue to hold here. If it continues to hold higher lows as it makes its push toward the upside, again, that will continue to squeeze any shorts that have not already covered, and the clock is ticking on that. Last but not least, from Tuesday's plan, we did Archer Aviation. This one actually gave us probably one of the, I don't think we've had a lot of downside plans playing out lately, but definitely this Archer plan played out nicely. Gave us the breakdown, back test there going into the open, shot us all the way down to PT1 for puts. What was the low day there? 1086. That doesn't sound right. Looks way too close. The low of this candle, 1038. Yeah, so now we were 3 cents off there on that PT1 price target. Oh, duh, because it bounced. Sorry, I need more coffee. That's where we closed. The low of the day yesterday was about 3 cents off that PT1 price target. So again, this played out nicely. Also looks like it's back testing with some confluence of resistance here at 1115. So if we stay stuck underneath that 1115 level, I would not be surprised to see Archer continue to pull back and perhaps even test some of these lower price targets. So keep an eye on it. But so far, out of the 3 plans we did on Tuesday's live stream, we had one that's still in the no trade zone. We haven't seen a breakout to either side. One that's absolutely exploded to the upside with Beyond, and one that's given us a price target to the downside already, and backtesting that put entry here with Archer Aviation. So, I would say that's 2 for 3 with so far, with one trade plan pending at this point from Tuesday's live stream. So everything looking really strong if you're just sticking to these plans and finding better and better ways to execute and get better entries and exits based on the levels that I'm providing. So let's get to some new trade plans here this morning. New trader wants to take a look at plug. Oh, well, they have these up here. Sorry, didn't mean to skip through those. HNST. So let's find out what this is. I'm not familiar. Is the name of the company Honest? It looks like it would be, but honestly, I don't know. Yeah, the Honest Company. How about that? Oh, okay. Is this what's her name's company? Jessica Alba or somebody like that? Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, I know who this is. I didn't even know they were publicly traded. So let's take a look at it. Volume, as I snuck a peek at that on my way down, looks decent enough for us to spend some time on this one. So let's get to it. Let's see if we can't find a good plan to put in place for the Honest Company. Again, clearly I've never looked at this. Oh man, this has been trading for a while. I had no idea it was publicly traded. 2021. Okay. So it's got a few years on it. That's good. So let's use that few years of exposure to the markets and the price action that resulted to figure out how exactly we might want to trade. We'll just call it Jessica Alba's. I'm just kidding. Honest companies. All right. There is a level hanging out right there. No surprise with that big rejection. That's always something that draws my eye to a specific support and resistance level. It doesn't make it an automatic support and resistance level. We still really need to see that overall confirmation testing on both sides. But a lot of times when you see those big bounces and rejections, they're happening at support and resistance. So take a look at those. That should draw your eyes or your attention to the charts at those levels, but make sure that you have a system in place for really confirming and vetting those support and resistance levels, and that will help you develop better trade plans for sure. And that is not an established support and resistance, but that is current all-time lows, so we'd want to keep that in mind. Any other weekly levels in here that stick out? That's kind of an interesting level too. So tight couple little levels there, but we'll see how and if that actually impacts our trade plan. Yeah, I'm not sold on this level. I'm going to want to take a look at this one again on the daily chart. I think it might be a good daily level. We'll see. Yeah, that's actually a pretty decent little level there. Yeah, I'd call that worth watching. Anything else we can spot down here? Big bounce off that 107 though. Yeah, I could make a case for there being a level. Maybe it's just a tad higher. Or is it a tad lower? You know what? I want to see this one on the daily chart as well. All right. Speaking of, let's get to that. Actually, let me take a look at what this looks like on extended hours, with it being kind of a not a huge volume name. Could be very, yeah, it is a bit all over the place from a extended trading hours perspective. So let's focus on just the straight up good old fashioned daily chart here in TradingView. For those who aren't aware of this, or something just to kind of be mindful of as you're using TradingView for your charting, the daily chart here in TradingView, even if you do have extended hours enabled on your charts, will only account for the regular trading hours session. That's why I also have a 24-hour time frame that you can set up as a custom time frame in TradingView. And that's what I use if I want to see a chart with daily candles that includes both the pre-market and after-hour sessions. So quick TradingView tip there as I work my way through this. And get a little bit more coffee in there. All right, let's see. So is this a good daily level? No. So that still remains to be seen if that's a level at all. This level, I think we're right. We're almost on it. Yeah. Keep an eye on that one. That's a daily level. Check this real quick back here just to see if we can help figure out where this level might be sitting. Yeah, it could be that it's a little bit lower, and then it does look like a pretty decent daily level. Let's double check that back here. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Oops, let's get this out of the way. Give me a little bit more room to work. This is another one I want to see on maybe one more time frame to nail it down. Give me some more daily levels. There we go. I see. I think I see where that wants to live. Yep. Whoops. Right about there. Yeah. It's an okay level. It's not hitting or causing super strong reactions, but again, this is also not a heavy volume trader, so I could certainly see if it was just a low volume day, how we respond to support and resistance might be a little bit skewed if it's a lower volume day. It's probably the best way for me to explain that quickly. Yeah, I like that. I might be also coloring outside the lines a little bit as far as how high and low I'm going on some of these levels. So I'll start to dial this in and find an area of concentration as we get to some of these hourly time frames. Yeah, there's just not. Yeah, that actually looks pretty decent. Right as I was getting ready to say, there's just not a lot of clarity to some of those lower levels. Yep, that's pretty decent actually. Okay, that looks solid. Let's get into the hourly chart here. Let's dial this in. How's everybody doing? Any questions so far? Everybody following along okay? Hopefully I'm explaining things enough as I'm making my way through this. All right, let's see what we want to do with the Honest Company. $358, $388. I think my one question here is I'm going to turn these indicators back off just for a second. Yeah, let's check this out. Okay. That should make for a good first price target right there. Second price target. So already looking at this overall move. Yeah, okay. I know these may not look like massive moves on the underlying asset, but if we think about this from a percentage standpoint, a move from 377 up to 4 gets us approximately, now that's actually not even super close to 10%, but from a percentage standpoint, believe it or not, 377 to 4 is actually a pretty decent move. 4 to 418 though, it's really only like a 5% move, but yeah, 5% is decent between price targets. Again, this is just one that's very, very low on the price scale, so while it may seem like our targets are for small dollars and cents, overall, from a percent return standpoint, it's really not all that bad. I think we make a push to 440 for there, so it's kind of another 5% move there, essentially, a little less than. But overall, and again, I don't know if this, was there a particular thing that triggered you or has you eyeballing Honest, Serge? Is there like a catalyst or something like that at play? Just curious. Obviously, we're doing the trade plan either way, but I think this one would need something to kind of, you know, get it in gear and get it, bring some extra volume in and get it moving, but not sure. So, didn't know if you had any particular reason why you were looking at the Honest Company, unless you're just a big Jessica Alba fan, which I totally understand. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good for an upside trade plan. Gets us through a lot of these hourly confluences and resistance struggles and sell pressure overhead. So yeah, I think that's a decent upside trade plan. Let's see. Question is, we're up there at 357 currently. Let's see if there's a window of opportunity sitting in here. Yeah, right about here is where I was hoping to see it. Where I thought we might see it. Look at it fundamentally. Oh my god, a fundamental analysis? That's crazy. No, that's awesome, man. I think we all remember the original MCU Sue Storm being Jessica Alba. But I did like the new Fantastic Four movie, for what it's worth. Thought it was pretty decent. Was glad to see they didn't totally, like, just do a terrible pivot on how to, like, have Galactus come into the movie. So I thought that the new Fantastic Four, that's the Galactus I grew up with as a kid in the new Fantastic Four. So I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. I nerded out. I'm not going to lie. To be a kid again. All right. Let's see. Where do we move off there? That's actually pretty decent. I'll double check these levels on the more current price action, but I like those windows of opportunity. And good risk reward on both sides of this. But again, very, very tight. It looks like price levels, but again, we're talking about something that trades sub $5, so pennies kind of matter from a percent return standpoint. And I do like that as a third price target, but let's double check that. Nothing to help with here more recently. So, all right, let's see how this shakes out. Ooh, that might change my mind a little bit, though. All right, I'm going to take a shot at it. We did catch a little bounce there at 343 weekly support, but overall it's lower highs, lower lows. So I think if we try to test down near that 343 level again, it might just break through. And then we'll start to see these downside targets hit. So, all right, cool. PSEC, what indicators are you using on your chart? I am using a trading system indicator that I built myself called Neptune. It is available for purchase of annual or lifetime access. So if you're interested in any of that, or if you want more info, feel free to shoot me a DM. I don't want to get into trade planning session deep into a explainer on Neptune, because I want to really get these levels out. And some people are good with just the levels. They don't want to get tied up with indicators, but Neptune is what gives me an edge on the markets, even with the extremely accurate support and resistance levels that I do develop on my own. Actually, I'm not ready for that to be on yet. NTS really gives me that additional insight. I kind of call it multi-factor trading or confluence trading, where I'm using that as kind of like a automatically generated bias-free system to help me find where I've got buyers and sellers potentially sitting, momentum, sell pressure levels, all that sort of stuff. Breakouts, great alert system built into it. I've spent many years from Neptune version 1 to Neptune Dynamic, which I think we're on like 3.5 for 3.6 now. Yeah, 3.5. I'm typically running this test mode so I can continue to test different things and refine and make the indicator even better. Anytime I publish an update, everybody who has access gets it. All right, so we are on a shared stop loss average down. That's as deep as I'll go into NTS right now. Cool. All right, so let's get this going here. I want to get to at least one more trade plan, if not two, if I can speed things along here. I know I might be getting into the weeds a little bit on this honest plan. My apologies. There we go. That looks good. Solid. Okay, let's situate this for a nice picture. All right. Let me get over to, and for those on YouTube, what's up, Ryan Brown? What's up, Jonathan? Good morning. Good to see you guys as well. Here comes the honest live stream plan. My apologies for there not being a live stream for you all on Tuesday. I set up everything to be ready to go for it as my first live stream back from neck surgery, and I forgot to hit the go live button. Selected the broadcast, started streaming, and forgot to hit go live. My bad on that one. We did do a live stream on Tuesday. It should have gone to YouTube, but I screwed that up. Totally on me. I own it. So my apologies. That won't happen again. It's been a long time since I've done that. Maybe I was just a little rusty coming out of major surgery. But I will try to get some stuff for you guys going there. Ryan and Jonathan Constant, thank you for joining on YouTube. Much appreciated. All right, so let's get this going. Sorry, I feel like I'm kind of just spinning my wheels this morning and not getting much done somehow. My apologies. All right, let's go. That's all good. We'll give this a week to play out. Oh, shoot. I forgot to put this in here. Man, I'm a little scatterbrained this morning. Although I slept horribly last night. I couldn't fall asleep at all. Didn't pass out till like 3 a.m. finally. That's probably why I'm a little bit scatterbrained this morning. So my apologies. I'm trying to drink my way through it. And by drink my way through it, I mean coffee. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it. The procedure and the recovery all went far better than I would have ever anticipated. So it's all good now. All right, cool. And last but not least, let's get this locked in. Again, I'm kind of working with cobwebs this morning. My apologies. Save. Yes. All right, so what are we looking for here on Honest? We're looking for a break over 377. That should give us a push to $4, $4.18, and $4.40 as our upside price targets, with a stop loss average down at $3.64. To the downside, we're looking for a break below $3.52. That should bring targets at $3.26, $3.06, and $2.89. Again, with a shared stop loss average down there at $3.64. Honestly, that's as good as I can do with that trade plan. Get it? That was terrible. That was a really, really bad dad pun. All right. IonQ, IBM, yeah. Quantum names are going to be very interesting with the government trying to take a stake in one or some, or I'm not sure what exactly the plan is, but I saw some rumors swirling about that. So we'll see how that actually plays out. IonQ, IBM. IBM just reported last night, didn't they? If so, I'm going to go with IonQ over IBM because we'll probably want to give that a couple of days to shake out. Dropped? Well, let's see if it dropped on... Whoops. Golly. Learn how to type, bro. Dropped. Trading views numbers aren't always super accurate. We pop them up down here, but It'll at least give you a general idea. So if these are accurate, they dropped on a decent beat. Guidance could have sucked though. So let's give this one a few days to shake out. Casey, if you want to circle back to it on next Tuesday's live stream, I would not be against that. Give it a little bit more time to let the post ER move to kind of settle, let that dust settle a little bit. All right, let's see if I can't pump this out. Sure, volume's been huge on IIQ lately. Yeah, pretty good. Do you have a specific focus on IonQ, Casey, or do you just want a quantum name in general? I'm just thinking I've got, I think, pretty good levels on Rigetti, and we could do that and probably do it pretty quick. But just, okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to see if I can't find a way to sneak in a third trade plan here. Rigetti I could probably do pretty quickly because I already have levels on it. But you asked for IonQ, I want to give the man what he asked for. So let's get to work. All-time highs here on the weekly chart. We'll want to mark that off. Yeah, that's pretty good level. Not a lot of price history up in this range, but that's okay. We are on the weekly time frame, so we'll get a lot more candles to work with as we start to break these down. That's another level to keep on watch. Not seeing anything super clear there from a weekly chart perspective. Oh, wow. Doesn't even have a 333 SMA yet. All right, let's go. So did that rejection lead to anything really developing? Kind of, actually. Yeah. I don't know. It might be a daily level. Take a shot. I think there's something there, though, for sure. I'll take a better look at it on the next time frame. It's not confirmed, this level. Oops. Oh, actually, that is confirmed. That looks pretty strong right there. Same thing with that one. Got a few levels kind of stacked up on each other there in that range. I think there could be something here, but we need to dig a little deeper to find that out. I don't think we're going to need levels down to 32. So all right, so let's go ahead and move this on. Let's keep going. So Where's this level hiding out? Yeah, actually, work with that. Come here. Same thing with that one. Pretty big fair value gap to fill to the downside. Hopefully we don't get anywhere near it for those with long exposure to IonQ. All right. Yeah, let's put that in the mix. Okay, so what do we want to do with you, IonQ? SMA's overhead there. That's kind of interesting. Although that could be due to how much this 333 SMA could be relatively new. Surprised it's not holding a little better than the 200 is, allowing the 200 to cross below it. But that, again, that could just be lack of longer term data. All right, so where does this get interesting? Show me what you want to do, IonQ. You know what? I think I see it. Yep. All right, let's take a shot at this. Gonna add a call entry here. PT1 here. Stop loss right here. Whoops. All right, let's see. Where's PT2 hiding out at? Let me turn these off real quick. Yeah, I like that as a PT2. And let's see, PT3. Oh yeah, right here. All right, cool. Upsides squared away. Let's see about downside. Yeah, we get into that fair value gap below this 54.64 level by the looks of it. It did push up and rally over that 57.30. We also saw an attempt to bounce off that level there a couple days ago. I don't want to put an overly tight stop loss on this plan. I could make a case for there being a slightly it gives the trade just a little bit more room to work out, smaller time frame level. So let's leave that where it is. All right, so I would take some profits here, even though I think this does continue lower on the fill of that fair value gap, which doesn't take us a whole lot lower than that first price target, but there is another level there, and I think another opportunity to book a little bit more profit. Oops, wrong thing to do. Right about here. So very tight PT12 there, I know, but I'd be looking to take some profits at both of those. And can think about finishing taking our profits there at 43.40. Okay, so let's get this locked in. Oops, 47.13. Stop loss average for this put plan at 58.14. No shared stop loss average down. Boom. Let's clean up this chart real quick. Oh, shoot. Although I do have some more levels on here. A couple levels I've spotted more than once. I didn't realize I had a whole group of drawings hiding in there. Oh, that's the plus and minuses of not checking that. I'll remember that for next time, but I'll clean that up later. I'm not going to waste our time on that when we're doing a live stream. Okay. And I didn't have levels up this high on it anyway, so I was going to have to do them one way or the other. All right. Let's lock this in. Oh, thank you very much, Jonathan. Much appreciated. Here's the INQ live stream plan coming at you. For KC and the Sunshine Band. No, I'm not trying to reorder channels. Let's snag our link. Trade plan pilot. Boom, boom. Set our alerts. All right, and before I forget, all right, so what are we looking for here on IonQ? We are looking for a break over 63.42. That should bring price targets at 68.37, 73.81, and 79.77, with a stop loss average down at 59.62. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 54.64. That should bring targets at 48.94, 47.13, and 43.40, with a stop loss average down on that downside trade plan there at 58.14. Let's go get it. All right, so let me try to take at least a quick look at these other requests, even though I may not be able to give you guys a full-on plan. I'll at least try to give you some quick insights on these tickers that you've asked about. Let's give some love to the YouTube side of things. Ryan Brown always in there. Dedicated YouTube attendee, much appreciated. Also put us on to that Flowers Foods trade way back in the day. It wasn't that long ago, but seems like a while ago in my mind. All right, so Ryan wants to take a look at Roku or Apple. Let's see if one looks more interesting than the other. I know I'm going to have good levels on Apple. Apple looks like a good buy the dip level at 255 or 253.53. Sorry, if we get a test down that low, I'd certainly be looking to buy the dip on it. If you did buy that dip, I'd look for a move. Great confluence there. I'd be looking for a move. Actually, you know what? Well, no, I take that. Yeah, actually, let's switch that up real quick. Sorry. I like to buy the dip off of 255.97, use 253.53 as your stop loss average down. If you take that 255.97 by the dip level, use these targets, 260.01, 263.83. I'll go ahead and share this chart image for you, Ryan, or for anybody else that wants to just take a look at those levels, use those, etc. I think that's confirmed. Oh, do I think he's gonna do Dr. Doom justice? I think the only thing he's gonna have working against him in that role is the fact that he's Tony Stark, and he was such a good Tony Stark. But he's a great actor. I could certainly see him being a very good Victor Von Doom. So that's my quick take on that for you. I'm looking forward, though. I feel like the MCU is starting to get its legs back again. It was kind of listing a little bit after Endgame and the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It was kind of like there's been a lot of sort of duds in the mix. Deadpool started to bring things back to life. There's, and again, I like what they did with the Fantastic Four. I don't love the Anthony Mackie Captain America push. It's okay. Thought Thunderbolts was pretty good. So yeah, I'm optimistic for the near term future, or for how they're going to pivot things with Marvel. All right, sorry, that's a total nerd out in the middle of a live stream. My bad. I'm trying to take a look at MSTR for Jonathan real quick. Jonathan, MSTR is looking quite bearish at the moment. Bearish to quite bearish. Do have levels on it. Yeah, I'd say I'd be 293.41 looks like it could be a good short opportunity. Although MSTR does seem a little bit beaten down at the moment. Might be greedy looking for more downside here. But if you did play that rejection, there's a nice confluence overhead there on the 30-minute chart. Hourly's bearish as well from an indicator standpoint. 293.41 does look like a good rejection level. I'd be looking at a price target down there at yesterday's low. Perfect bounce off that level, or near perfect bounce off that level there at 276.86. That gives you a pretty decent window of opportunity to the downside. Set my stops up here at 304.25. That's my quick take. Here's the chart on MSTR. All right, let me try to help one more person. Now that's all good. I can talk and chew gum at the same time. Walk and chew gum, I know. Plug. New trader was asking for plug. This will be the last one I give a quick look at. So plug, we did a plan on this recently, actually. Did give us a little dip below there yesterday. I think if we get another dip below on an overall bearish chart at the moment, plug's probably going to continue to pull back. Yeah, I mean, I think we could just rerun this plan, honestly. So let's publish it, and then we'll be done. Wow, that's wild. Same call entry as, I'm guessing that was from Honest. Same exact price level. It's like, what? That doesn't make sense. Impossible. Stop loss average down. Put entry 287. PT1 241. I'm gonna have to really try to fly through this SPY plan in 5 minutes. I'm overextending myself this morning. Learn your lesson, folks. Don't overextend yourself. All right, use call put. Yep, that's good. That's good. Let's go. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm not gonna pass this. All right. Good request on plug. I had the plan just waiting for us. So here comes the plug live stream plan. And then I gotta haul some serious ass. And last but not least, let's lock it in. All right. So what are we looking for here on plug? We're looking for a break over 377 for targets at 416, 470, and 511. Stop loss average down at 347. Put entry below 287. Targets at 241, 211, and 179. Stop loss average down at 322. All right, folks, I do need to haul some serious ass, get the SPY plan put together and published for folks to follow today. I appreciate everybody showing up and joining me this morning, especially on YouTube. Thank you guys for coming back. Apologies again for forgetting to hit one final button to go live on YouTube on Tuesday on my triumphant return to the regular live stream schedule. My apologies. With that being said, as we always remind folks here on these live streams, plan your trades and trade your plans. Remember, we're looking for profits, not perfection. So keep those wins big, keep your losses small. Go out there and get some green. Have a fantastic day. SPY plan coming at you ASAP. Take care. I will see you guys next Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day.